Hello everyone, it is the week right after spring break. Let's get started. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Marily Sanchez and I'm a 4th grade teacher in South Florida. Today is April 1st, 2024. I know. We are back from spring break on April Fools, and it is also the day right before our state writing assessment. It is a new writing assessment. Last year they did a pilot of that test in a few schools. Our school wasn't one of them. So this is the first year our school will be, well, all schools in Florida will be taking the BEST writing test. BEST is Benchmarks for Excellent Student Thinking. It is the benchmarks that the state of Florida adopted a few years ago. So today was a big review day. And in order to make sure I review all of these different reminders for writing with my students, I reviewed the Writer's Craft, Minecraft theme, Google Slides that I created with them. And I also went over a couple of different prompts. Now for my morning group, which is my advanced group, they were put in groups and each group had a different writing prompt with sources, and I gave them a yellow planning sheet so they could practice using it. And all they had to do was work as a group. Everybody had their own papers on the same topic by group, and they had to analyze the prompt by finding the audience purpose and the task, which is the APT, and taking notes from the sources. Then I had each group present what their topic was and just talk about how they would support whatever that topic was. So if it was expository, how would they address that based on what they read? If it was argumentative, they would state their claim and what reasons they were going to use to support their claim. With my afternoon group, my ESOL group, I had to make sure I made it simpler for them. And then at the end, I also used the Google Slides. I was going to say PowerPoint. And then at the end, I went ahead and reviewed one of those prompts and just guided them step by step. So this is the prompt that we were working with my ELL students. So we were looking at the type of essay so that we knew the purpose is to state your claim, the audience, which is also listed over here, and the topic. So this one was about should students do activities to improve schools. So this one talks about painting in schools, creating murals, and some benefits to that. The second source was about school gardens and how that could benefit students. And then the third source was for the point of view that no, students should actually focus on schoolwork and not doing activities to improve the school. So then as we did that, I had the students remember to write the APT, analyzing the prompt on their planning sheet, and then write some notes on their particular sources. And this one, we were writing notes based on the opinion that students should do activities to improve schools because most of the majority students agreed. I had them see how they can take the writing prompt and turn it into a simple introduction. Again, these are my ESOL level 1s and 2 students. And I teach them to begin with as the first transition. They list their reason and then they start with the evidence, state their evidence, and then elaborate with the this means that. So then they will go to their second body paragraph, and I've been teaching them the transition, let's move on to, and then they can say their second reason, which we actually have on the back. So on the back of the yellow planning sheet, they had their plan, and they can state that and then do the same pattern, evidence and elaboration. And then they can end with in conclusion, and then they can list their opinion again, their claim, state their claim again. Students should do activities to improve schools. So keeping it simple with my ESOL students and with my advanced group, again, they had their own planning sheets and then they had different prompts. So this one is on the effects that animals and humans have on each other when they live in the same area. Then I had another one on a bike sharing program, if it will work in your community. So that's argumentative. And I had one more that was a little bit different. Here it is, expository on rainforests, why they're important and why we should preserve them. So those are the different prompts that the students worked on with my advanced group. Here is that Google slide presentation. So I'm just gonna zoom through it, but it is Minecraft themed. It looks like it's a real game, but it's not. It's just a Google Slides presentation. So I go over the first stage, which is analyzing the prompt, which is the challenge. And then we go to the resource gathering, where we have to read the sources, gather evidence, and craft a writing plan. I gave them the examples of the sources that I wrote for the eclipse, the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. I took my notes, and then I showed them how I would have made my planner, so the front of the planner and the back. And then it moves to the final boss, which is crafting or writing the essay, making sure we have an introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion, some essay reminders. These are different things that I've had shown them throughout the year, especially in our writing reference sheet that I made for them. Some examples of introductions for that eclipse expository essay, the different parts of tree for that essay, and as well as examples of conclusion, and then of course essay reminders on revising and editing, as well as the student-friendly rubrics. So then I did it all over again because I wanted to show them another example, but this time using an argumentative prompt. So here's the argumentative prompt, which they had already written to right before spring break. And then the resource gathering, here are the sources for that. And I color coded the evidence. So the orange was the digital play and the blue was hands-on play. I took notes on that. And this is how I set up my writing planning sheet, the front and the back. And I actually showed them an example of a real fourth grade student who wrote these essay introduction examples as well as the body paragraphs. And this is one of the high scoring papers so that the students can see how that student wrote it and the conclusion examples as well. And some reminders again, and that's basically the end of the presentation. So that's what we reviewed today. I hope that, they will remember every little thing that we've been going over, and tomorrow they will do the best that they can. It is a long test, and it could be 2 hours, but they can have up to 3 hours and 15 minutes, which is half of a school day. So I'm going to wish them all the very best. All right, so I'm going to get ready to go, and I'll see you tomorrow. And by the way, yes, my room is already set for testing. So it's in a U, so I can stand here and I can monitor all the students being on their computers. All right, tomorrow is another day. It's Tuesday, everyone, and the writing test is done. It took pretty much all day. We finished at 1:45. The students, a lot of them needed the extended time, the extra time, because they have 120 minutes to complete the test. But then our instructions say if they need additional time, they can be given up to a total of half of a school day, which is 3 hours and 15 minutes. So those students that needed additional time had an extra 75 minutes to complete the test, and we finished. And I'm very proud of their hard work. I don't know exactly what they wrote. I don't know what it was about, but we will find out hopefully before the year ends. It is a new test. We are told that the students will get a printout of what they wrote along with the score once all the scores are done. Now they have been digitally submitted, so they will be scored by an AI that has been programmed by a human and an actual human evaluator who will read their papers or their writing and give it a score based on 3 of the domains, which is purpose and structure, development, and language. So now that writing is done, we're still going to continue writing, obviously, but now we're going to focus more on the reading skills that students need to make sure they understand, since the state reading test is in May. It will be on May 13th and 14th. So we have about a month to do the final review for reading, and my co-teacher is going to do her final review for math because the math test will be on those days as well. So that is it for today, Tuesday. I'm a very, very tired teacher. Administering and monitoring a state assessment, it takes a lot of patience. And Yeah, because your brain is not actively doing much other than monitoring students and answering questions if they are having issues with their computers or etc. So, anyway, that's it for today. I arranged the desk in clusters. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. But this is how they are right now. I know they look kind of like in a weird direction, but it's because I wanted them to be like diagonal so they could face the front of the room. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I always do it as a trial. We'll see. But that is it for today, Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'll see you then. Hello, everyone. We're at the end of the day on Wednesday. Today was a really great day. I started with my ESOL students, and they were doing the same spring break quick write that my homeroom did on Monday. And then I introduced them to our new unit in Wonders, which is Unit 4, weeks 3 and 4. We were supposed to start this unit right before spring break, but I wanted to focus on writing, and we are still supposed to be on that unit for this week. So I figured, let me just go ahead and do it right after the writing test so that we start fresh on a new unit. So that's exactly what we did. This unit focuses on how do people show others that they care about them. I'm paraphrasing it, but that's basically the main gist of that essential question. So the students watched the opener video, we went over the study blast, and we also did the read aloud. We also went into the shared read by practicing our SPADE reading strategy, which is survey the text, predict, analyze and annotate, dissect the questions and evidence. So today we did the survey the text and we also dissected the questions. We didn't get into reading the story yet, but that will be for tomorrow. Both classes ended in the same place, so both classes completed the same kind of activities. So let me show you the sheet that students worked on this morning. Again, this is the quick write, so that students drew a picture of something they did during spring break or about the spring season, and then on the back they could continue if they need it. For the introduction to the unit, both classes worked on this one, which is similar to the one that I showed before. For the video, they wrote something that they learned. For the study blast, something they found surprising. And for the read aloud, something that they liked. I also took notes on the board to help my ELL students. So these notes are from the video where it talked about how people show different ways that they care. And these are the two people that the study blast talked about and how they use their hobbies and interests to help others and show that they cared. For the read aloud, I read to them A Special Birthday Hug, and we are back to realistic fiction, focusing on similes, metaphors, foreshadowing, and the problem of the story. As we completed each section of the unit introduction, I used Classroom Screen with a timer, and in Classroom Screen now you can insert a video. So I have this video that I love. This is Bears Chill Hip Hop, and I would just play this music with the timer. I put the timer right on top. This is a widget from Classroom Screen, and I will have the timer go as I played the music so that students could go ahead and complete that part of the sheet. So this is for the learned. Then I have another one for the what they found surprising in the study blast sync. And again, I can just adjust the timer as needed. And the last one was something that they liked about the read aloud. For this one, I did write along with them after we read it, some of the main events from the story so that they remembered what happened so they could write something that they liked. And that is how we introduced the unit. Then we went into our reading writing companion, which is our consumable, and we started looking at Sadie's Game, which is our shared read. We reviewed the genre of realistic fiction as well as our SPADE reading strategy. So we went through each page looking at the find text evidence questions so we can dissect them and analyze each of the text features so that the students can then do their prediction. I forgot to say, we also did the P in SPADE. So the only thing we have left to do is the analyze and annotate, which we'll do tomorrow as we read, and then use the evidence as we answer the questions. Another big, important, fun thing that happened today also was I announced the winners for the Mayan Spring Break Reading Challenge. The district was doing a reading challenge using Mayan Reading, which is part of the Renaissance Accelerated Reader kind of family. So we have that as one of our apps that the students have access to in their portal through Schoology. And the students just needed to read, and based on how many books they finished, how many minutes they spent reading, how many book quizzes they completed, and finished with 80% or higher, the students got to, kind of see how they performed. And I, along with the district challenge, I wanted to do my own classroom challenge, where first place would get an Amazon Fire tablet, second place got a $25 gift card, and third place got a $10 Amazon gift card. These are prizes that I purchased with my own money because I wanted to encourage the students, and I had winners from each class. So I did purchase 2 Amazon Fire HD 8 tablets, 2 $25 Visa gift cards, and 2 $10 Amazon gift cards. I actually ended up buying the 3-pack of the $10 Amazon gift cards and used 2 of those, kept 1 for myself or for any future thing that I may need. And I awarded the students by letting them know how many books they completed, how many pages they read, minutes they spent reading, quizzes they completed, and the average that they got on those quizzes. And it was such a great thing to do today. So I awarded the third place with the $10 Amazon gift card, the second place with the $25 Visa gift cards, and the first place, of course, with the Amazon Fire tablet, which came in a nice little Amazon gift bag that I did opt for. And then I had the students, I took pictures of the students to post on Class Dojo for the families to see. And for the Amazon tablet, I took a picture before unwrapping it and after unwrapping it, so the Amazon tablet, the box, they can show it. Anyway, that was a really big highlight for today. And that's all I have for today. I'm going to grab my things and get going, but I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, everyone. It's the end of the day, Thursday. Today, I started with my block 1 instead of my block 2. We went ahead and read Sadie's Game, which is our shared read for Wonders Unit 5, weeks 3 and 4. And after we read it, we completed the Find Text Evidence questions, and the students completed a plot conflict graphic organizer. So this is the shared read, and as you can see from the green annotations and the green text, this is what we annotated and answered in the Find Text Evidence questions for this particular shared read. And then students went ahead and worked on completing this plot conflict graphic organizer by filling in 2 events that were related to the conflict and how the conflict was resolved. Then we started reading the anchor text, Mama, I'll Give You the World. And since we're going over story elements, I gave the students a story elements graphic organizer that they were to complete as we read the story. This is that graphic organizer right here. So they list the characters, the setting, the when and the where, the conflict, and 3 important events that happen, one at the beginning, one in the middle, and one in the end, and of course the resolution. On the board, as we were reading the story, we were completing these different sections of that organizer together, and students then completed the rest. By the way, one of our jars is empty because this class already filled it, so now they are going to fill it for the next reward. This class is going to fill theirs soon as well. And another thing that I forgot to mention is I bought these little trash cans for $1 at the Target dollar spot and tissue boxes, and I put one on each team to help the students not get out of their seats and get distracted, because some of them were getting up out of their seats at different times when their friends were also getting out of their seat to get tissues, and then it was a little social time. So now they have access to a tissue box at their seats with a little trash can. And at the end of each class period, I asked 1 volunteer per group to dump the contents of the little trash can in the main classroom trash can. So then my block 2 this afternoon, I had them also do the same thing. We read the shared read, and then it was time to go to music. So we read the shared read and answered the Find Text Evidence questions. They didn't get to the graphic organizer for the conflicts for Sadie's Game, because after music, I had to have a class meeting and we had to deal with some things that happened since they had a sub during music. And then by the time that was done, I knew I wasn't going to be able to continue teaching So we just ended the day with a little bit of a break, and that's it for today, Thursday. So tomorrow that group is going to have to catch up by doing that graphic organizer. We're going to read Mama, I'll Give You the World, do the graphic organizer for the story elements for that, and then we'll read the paired selection to wrap up this unit. Next week, the students will take the assessment for that. So that's it for today, Thursday. I will see you tomorrow to wrap up the week. We have made it to Friday. I started this morning with my block 2, which is my ELL students, and we ended up going ahead and doing the chronological order graphic organizer for Sadie's Game, which is our shared read that we didn't get to the day before, and we read Mama, I'll Give You the World. As we read it, we completed the story elements graphic organizer. Together with the students, I finished the one that I had put on the board, and then they completed the rest of it. And after that, we went ahead and switched classes. I had my homeroom students for the afternoon, and what they ended up doing was finishing. I gave them a couple of minutes to finish the graphic organizer for Sadie's Game, as well as the respond to reading question. After that, we went ahead and read Miami by Way of Fujian, which is our paired selection, and students answered some reading response questions. These are the questions that the students answered, and they needed to make sure they answer them in complete sentences and using text evidence. Before I picked up their papers, towards the end, I showed them some examples of what I was expecting for them to answer. Then we collected the papers in the last 30 minutes of the day because they earned it. They got to get their snack party. So I laid down all the snacks. They had bags of chips, bags of sweet cookies, and bags of juices. And we ended up watching half of an episode of Phineas and Ferb. And that is how we ended our day. The other class also got to fill up their jar, so they'll have their snack party on Monday. So that's all that I have for this week, being week 30. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile.
Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.